Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 7 of Enigmatica 2 Expert. Last video we set up this this generator, what's it called? A gas, no, not this one, gas turbine generator, burning ethylene fuel, and we can see our ethylene tank here is full, although not particularly large. We can upgrade it later. And all of our processes are fully backstuffed. So I think, yeah, this cloche is even completely full, so it's not growing melons anymore. All right, so if we want more power anytime in the future, all it takes is to increase the peak production here is adding more Enderium turbines. Each one adds 1600 RF a tick, and we get up to 50 of them. So a complete full generator produces 80,000 RF a tick, which is quite a bit of power. Now, today, I would like to put some of that power to use. I would like to use this auto heavy sieve that we got as a quest reward, and in fact, I would like to make a few more of them. So these are steel and a sieve. The only tricky thing in this sieve to make is this mana infused gear. So let's pin this, pin the gear, pin the ingot. The mana infused ingot is made by putting mana steel through a metallurgic infuser, or no, I guess that's it. This ore does not generate. And it can be, I guess there are magic. Oh, it does generate, but not in the overworld. So let's want to jump through some of these hoops to get them. Can we make this by chance? Well, in any event, I don't. No, we cannot. In any event, I don't feel like jumping through these hoops to make the ore. What I'm going to do though is try to get mana steel by salvaging it out of some of this gear. So our mob farm here has been producing lots of stuff. Have we gotten? Let's see. We got another quantum suit body armor, but it's still the helmet I'm missing. Every now and then I just like take this modular storage, set it aside, and I'll probably put a new modular storage here to hold 300 new stacks of armor. Some of these armors will be useful down the line, but yeah, it looks like we didn't get a helmet. What we did get though is a bunch of mana steel stuff. So if I take this gear, repair it in our anvil, then we can we can arc furnace it as is, but if it's low durability, we get less ingots out of it. But we can take the gear, repair it, and then build an arc furnace and turn that into mana steel ingots. And a lot of the stuff in here is arc furnace salvageable. Let's see. I think the Twilight Forest stuff is directly salvageable. Is the industrial craft stuff salvageable in any way? No. But technically this nanosuit armor is probably trash. But yeah, like this Supremium gear, salvageable, so on and so forth. So let's start off by I'm going to take all the mana steel that we have, a fair bit, and queue it up to be repaired in our anvil, our lava anvil. This repair process will take a while because it takes a bucket of lava for every 10 durability points, and our mechanical squeezer making lava. It's not very fast. It is energy efficient. That's the upside. Downside is it is slow. But that's all right. It'll take us a while to make that arc furnace too. However, making the arc furnace takes a lot of steel, and I'm actually on my last stack of iron. I have like a stack of pulverized iron and a little bit of iron ore left. So why don't we get this one heavy sieve up and running first, just to produce like some basic resources before we try to make more. So I think when we're using the sieve, we have to make a few decisions, and that is which resource do we sieve and which mesh do we use? Right now, I just want basic resources, like, I would love some diamonds, emeralds, iron, gold, copper, tin, this kind of stuff. There are some more exotic resources, like if you sieve, where's a good example? If you sieve netherrack, you get ardite, cobalt, but I don't need that exotic stuff yet, right? I just need stuff to literally make basic machines with. So I think a good place to start is gravel through a diamond mesh. This gives all of the basic like the basic ores and diamond and emeralds at a decent rate. The other option is to do dust through a diamond mesh because that gives redstone. And really we do need a fair bit of redstone and the ores, but I think I have enough redstone for now. So let's get this single auto sieve. First of all, let's get all this stuff out of it, and let's get it started processing gravel. And it has to be compressed because this is a heavy sieve. When making when making any of the Cobbleworks products, the most efficient way by a mile is the Ender.io Sagmo, because you can work with quadruple compressed cobble. So like quadruple compressed cobble, and it takes the same amount of energy to process the heavily compressed stuff as the normal stuff. So you can sag mill 6,000 blocks of cobble for less than 1 RF per block. That's a pretty darn good deal. Unfortunately, we can't even make the simple sagmo yet, right? This takes, titanium, alumat, bunch of stuff. We're like 7 steps away. Actually, how far? Let's look at the, oops, it's not this tab, gates. How far are we from Ender.io? Here. So we're like, 1, 2, 3 steps away. And I don't feel like doing all that just to make the sagmo. So we'll do the next best thing, and that's the Material Stoneworks factory. It's slower, but it produces its own cobblestone. I don't know. For now, I'll just make one of these, although eventually we'll need more than one, because obviously we want to sift more than just gravel. The Material Stonework factory can be configured to make just about any thing that can be ground down from cobble, I guess. So, is there a way I can show you the entire list? And if I do this, do at JES. Alright, so yeah, it can make, any of the stone products. It can do crafting. Really, you can make cracked stone bricks. But yeah, it can make like the sands, the dust, the silicon, yada, yada, yada. It's a very versatile machine, and I love it to death. So in this case, I'm going to use it to make compressed gravel. Depending on what you're doing, it may or may not be easier to do the compression step in a compacting drawer. But as you can see, it's not terribly fast. It takes 5 ticks per step, and it's 2 point some number, because you have to do the step 9 times to make a gravel, right? So it's like 2.1 steps to make compressed gravel. If you put all the upgrades in, speed 1, speed 2, energy 1, energy 2, it works faster. It doesn't seem, it says it works every tick, but it's clearly not working every tick. But either way, it processes 4 items at a time, and this is definitely faster than our sieve can process stuff anyways. So take our sieve and set it here. We'll have to pipe the items over. There is an ejector upgrade you can put in here, but the ejector upgrade, there's only 4 upgrade slots. So we also have to make the diamond mesh. In total, I've seen a list that takes, I guess we have to go through all the tiers. I've seen a list that says with 7 different sieves, you can sieve all the things that come from sifting in this pack. So between the various combinations of there's 4 different materials: gravel, sand, dust. Well, gravel, sand, dust, 3 netherrack, soul sand, 5, and crushed sandstone. So 6 of the 6 different there's 6 different materials. I'm excluding dirt, and 4 different meshes. So there's like 24 different combinations they're in. But you only have to use 7 of them to get all the resources you need. So just conduit it over. Here, you definitely want to tell it that you cannot withdraw these partial products. You can only withdraw the final product. So, and this starts sifting. Hurrah! It produces resources extremely quickly, and that's before you time and bottle it if you need resources faster. And as you can see, it uses 1,000 RF a tick, which is why we had to set up our power generation first. Next, we have to take these things and just store them somewhere. I'm thinking we'll put it into we'll set up a drawer wall on this side that'll eventually support all the sifting outputs, because most of these things just have to be crafted 2x2. And I believe they can be compacted in a compacting drawer. Let's just sanity check this. I know packs can blacklist this behavior. And this doesn't work here. Dang it. Alright, then we need a slightly different compactor. Let's try out the auto compressor from X Compressium. So there's a rationing version. I'm not exactly sure what rationing means, but we'll find out, I guess. I do this, the items go in here. Rationing might be that it only accepts items if it can get the full set. Although that might just be because the item conduit moves exactly 4 items at a time. I'm going to leave this here for a bit, let it process, and we'll see. Oh, I see. Rationing leaves the last item of a set behind, so that we can map input slots to output slots. Okay, that works for me. That is one of the problems with these compressors. The sifter produces more than 12 types of outputs, right? So you could end up in a situation where all 12 slots here are jammed and then it sends the item to a different compressor. And in a worst case scenario, you need as many compressors as you have item outputs to fully avoid the jam. So anyways, now that we have this, this makes our ores. In fact, since this is a temporary setup, I'm going to just store this into a modular storage for now, because I don't want to set up a drawer wall just to take it down for our full setup in like, half an episode. I take back what I just said about there being more than 12 unique outputs to the heavy sieve here. There actually aren't. There's exactly 12 outputs, and crushed black quartz isn't compatible, so you technically don't need a rationing compressor here. Any compressor would do. But whatever, all the products get stored into here, and for the time being, I'll process it just by like taking it and breaking it with our auto smelt pickaxe. Obviously, in a full automation setup, we'll want to use like, I don't know, probably the mechanism machines for it. I'm going to use one of our nether stars to make the builder's wand here. I would make do with a diamond wand, but we need to make living wood for that. So, oh well, we've got plenty of nether stars. We can make it easily enough. And place it. Yeah. I guess if we had more, that would work a little bit better, but vein mine it. And look at that. Off 24 ores, we got 68 ingots. Not a bad deal. Or those 27 ores, wasn't it? Still, that's like, I guess it's a bit better than 2 to 1. Better than 2 to 1, worse than 3 to 1. Somewhere in that ballpark. This one sieve, though, definitely produces resources faster than if I were to go mining. Like, if I were mining and racing the sieve, I think the sieve wins, which is a good sign. That means it produces a lot of stuff. On the other hand, I think it means that trying to place this stuff by hand with the builder's wand is actually a terrible idea. So I'm going to retask our builder to build blocks of ores for us, for me to mine. If all goes well, all I have to do is put my ores in here, flip the switch, and I guess it starts top down, which is a little less than ideal. It also intermixes the ores. I don't know how much that messes with my ability to vein mine it. I thought it builds in order. Alright, so I guess I have to do one type of ore at a time to make this really viable. Because when it intermixes the ores like this, I can't actually vein mine. Alright, new technique. So we turn the system on first, and then we put in the ores individually so that, all of each type of ore ends up in a continuous group. I wish there was a mode to make it build bottom up instead of top down, but not the biggest of issues. And then we can just vein mine them all. And this is, only doing 20-ish of each ore, right? If I was doing... That's going to make me fall. If I was doing like 1,000 of one ore, this wouldn't be a problem at all. We can get it all in, maybe not one go because of the vein mining limit, but we can get it all in, pretty quick order. In fact, this is probably faster than any machine we have access to can process this stuff at the moment, even with the relatively high speed of machines in this pack. Alright, anyways, doing this has given me plenty of iron. In fact, let's check. Just a minute ago, well, that's a bit less than I expected, but just a minute ago I had less than a stack. Now I have about 3 stacks. And this is producing it, I just emptied it out. Look, 18 more iron ore. But like in half an hour, I'll have more ore than I will use in the next couple days. Cool. So that gets us back to making the arc furnace. One of the most heavily used resources in the arc furnace is steel, and I have 51 pieces of it. Making steel in here is possible, but slow. In fact, I've stopped making steel some time ago because of how incredibly slow the blast furnace is. We have a faster way. If I take iron and coal, although not coal in the form of coal, but in the form of graphite, which I have a lot of because when I mine coal with my auto smelt pickaxe, it turns it into graphite. We can then process that in our, let's see, alloy furnace, I believe, and it much more quickly, in fact, let's join these, much more quickly makes steel. Now it uses 3000 RF a tick to do it instead of 0, but I mean, this is like 100 times faster than the blast furnace, right? Talking about the slow blast furnace, we need its components to make the arc furnace. So instead of leaving up a useless machine, let's just replace it. I'm going to put the arc furnace right here. I kind of want it remotely close to our mob farm because a lot of the stuff from the mob, well, maybe it doesn't matter. Screw it, I'm going to put it over here. A lot of the stuff from the mob farm is eventually going to find its way over to the arc furnace. But we can make the projector, which, let's see, I want power inputted back, which I believe means we want it facing this way. Is that right? Let's bump it back one more slot. Right there? Nope. Right here. From here, I want it left one more slot. There we go. Right there. Final answer. Is this the one that... No, it's not this preview. Different previews have slightly different features. One of the previews has a feature where you can middle click on the hologram and it like pulls the appropriate item out of your inventory. I think that's the advanced rocketry one. Very nice feature. But anyways, you just have to now, put the square pegs in the square holes. When you're done, all the outline turns green to tell you that you've succeeded, and you right click that, and we're done. All right, so this makes stuff away. This makes the arc furnace. We do have to plug it in, and it uses a fair bit of energy. In fact, it uses. Let's look at how much exactly. Can you? 1 second. So all arc furnace recipes were changed in this pack. They use a lot more energy and less time. So 2560 RF, IF, RF, same thing. Per tick, the arc furnace can process up to 12 items at a time. So it's actually 10 times this. So it's like 30,000 RF a tick is its absolute peak. But we are not going to make nearly enough energy to power it at that level. On the other hand, though, because the energy cost, I think the energy cost went up, but the time went down. So the power cost went up, the time went down. The total energy cost is the same as normal, which makes it like an extremely quick resource processor if you can power it at full output, which we can't yet. But inputs are these 3 plugs here. This one is a slag output, and this here is your, your good item output, your product output. The arc furnace does auto output the front slot here, so you could just put an inventory directly in front of it. However, its auto output is a little bit slow, especially when you significantly buff its processing speed. So you can also extract from it to speed that up. Anyways, let's test it out. We won't be able to run it at full power for long, as I mentioned, because of the fact that it drains infinite energy. But if we just put ores in here... Oh, I skipped a step. It needs electrodes. Let's go make the arc furnace electrodes. Whoops. Thankfully, we found a blueprint for arc furnace electrodes somewhere, probably in the village, if I had to guess. If you try to make the electrodes without the blueprint, you have to make it in the metal press, which gives you half durability ones. Whereas if you do it with the blueprint, you do it in the engineer's workbench, and you get full durability ones. Both ways require the same amount of resources. So you take coal coke, and I think it has to be individual pieces. Let's see. I'm trying to pulverize it. I guess if you crush it in a crusher, you can do blocks. But I don't want to make a crusher just for this, so take individual pieces, put that through the manufactory. I was told the manufactory could do this. I've been lied to. This can go through... Okay, so it can go through a actually additions or mechanism crusher. Or macerator. But I guess not a manufactory. Very well then. Crusher it is. I just made a new one because our other crusher is, in use. I still haven't bothered making upgrades for these machines yet, so I'm in a bottle it is. Alright, then we can take this stuff. This is what goes into manufacturing. This process in the immersive engineering way has to be made into a squeezer, and I'm so used to making a crusher and a squeezer to make this hop graphite dust. Wait, it doesn't even make hop graphite dust. It just makes nothing. Oh, weird. So I guess in this pack you actually have to do it in a manufacturing. Oh no, it probably does make it. It's just a display bug. But anyways, you squeeze it in a manufactory and get hop graphite dust. So if I get, let's say it's 4 to 1, so 4 times 8, or 8 to 1, but I need 4 ingots. I need 4 ingots for 1 rod. So it's 36 for 1 rod. I don't know. We're going to need a lot. Hurry up. And you can take the hot graphite dust and smelt it. At some point, I should make a furnace that's RF powered. I'm somewhat surprised I made it this far without an RF powered furnace. But take those here. Give me the 13th ingot as well. We have our blueprint. So we run over to the engineer's workbench and make 3 of these. 3 electrodes lasts, if you're not using it for automation, they'll last you forever. They have 96,000 durability, and it uses 1 durability per tick. So anyways, as you can see here, this is very fast processing. Yeah, very good. Now you can hit this button and it bounces out its stacks. At some point though, we have we have a little bit of energy buffer to be able to run this at full speed, but when our energy buffer runs out, we can't run all 12 stacks in parallel. But anyways, I didn't really make this machine because I wanted these things, right? Like Sly can make, I don't know, it can make various things, but not very useful. We turn back into sand, still not very useful. Getting 2 ingots per ore is worse than we can do with our pickaxe. What I really wanted this machine for was to recycle these. So, take this armor, put it in here, and pretty darn quickly, in fact, it is very quick, pretty darn quickly, it turns it into mana steel. Look at that. We have a stack of mana steel, and I haven't touched anything in Botania yet. I guess I just haven't at more. Okay, yeah, it takes forever to repair. Just to make room for other items in our storage here, I'm going to recycle all of this stuff as well. Yeah, don't know how useful ironwood is, and by recycling it without full durability, we don't get like full output, we just get partial output. But, this stuff is otherwise just going to get thrown in the trash. So we get something out of it by going through these steps. Though in this case, it's probably something rather unimportant. My crusher, for some reason, won't stop crushing, even though there's nothing to crush. So, I don't know. You do you, crusher. But anyways, we can now turn this mana steel that we recycled into mana infused ingots. Turn that into gears on the metal press, and we're off to make the rest of our sieves. I went and checked the list of sieves we needed again to get all the various resources. This list comes courtesy of the Enigmatica Discord. It's pinned in one of the Enigmatica 2 channel. So if you want to double check for yourself and see what else, there's a couple other variations you can do. But anyways, these are the 8 sieves I eventually want. So 4 of them are for resources we don't have automated yet, or can't easily automate yet. Endstone, gravel, soul sand. So endstone gravel will go through iron and diamond meshes. Nether gravel or netherrack gravel will go through an iron mesh. Soul sand through a diamond mesh. These last 4 are the ones we can do. So dust through a diamond mesh, sand through a diamond mesh, and gravel through flint and diamond mesh. Generally speaking, when we look at meshes, the gravel or the flint mesh is a strict upgrade to the string mesh, and the diamond mesh is a strict upgrade to the iron mesh, but going from flint to diamond is often a side grade. If we look at, say, gravel, this one here. Gravel, if we process it through a diamond mesh, we no longer get lapis. We only get lapis if it's probably easier to look at it in this tab. We only get lapis by processing gravel through flint and string mesh. I guess we can't even process it through a string mesh. So just flint through gravel through a flint mesh, which is why we do need the extra sieve processing gravel. So anyways, there's 4 sieves. Let's make 4 heavy sieves, auto heavy sieves. I'll make likewise 4 material stoneworks facilities and set that all up, and then we can tear this down. In fact, just in the, about half hour it took for us to get here, we have tons and tons of ores from this temporary stuff. This is enough to power us through until, enough to make these various machines. Now that we're working on the not temporary setup, I figured let's combine the cobbleworks and sifters together. They're kind of made to go together. So here I have cobbleworks doing gravel, sand, dust, silicon. We'll need a lot of this for binder logistics. gravel, sand, dust, cobblestone, glass, silicon. That machine will come here and make the glass later. All right, then we just have to set up our sifters. I think I'll put the sifters on this side and put together the sifters and compactors off camera because it's basically just a repeat of what we had there, except scaled up. So 4 sieves, 1 with flint, 3 with diamond meshes, doing each of the other resources. Remember the list we had here? The only one that needs a flint mesh, or it was flint, right? Hold on. It was, how do I interpret this? Dust and diamond, sand and diamond, gravel and flint and diamond, yeah. So gravel has a flint mesh and a diamond mesh. The rest of these just have flint meshes. They sift their things, and then the way I'm handling the final product is first, at a higher priority extract or insert here, it's all on the brown channel. It tries to insert into the drawer here, and that handles the stuff like basically all the compactable stuff, like all the things the drawers can compact, and all the things that are just straight up uncompactable. Then everything else, because it can't be inserted in here, falls into one of these compressors based on priority. So it's -1, -2, -3, -4. We don't actually use the last two, but whatever. They get put into here. These are all rationing ones, so they save a slot. They get compacted into the ore form, and those ores get stored here. So, I mean, that's all there is to it. Now we have fully automated production of everything you see on this wall. That also means we no longer need you, so let's take this system down. There's one potential issue in that these compactors are actually just straight up not fast enough. We can see like lead is backstuffing here. Eventually that'll, in fact it already has caused it. Lead is now in both of these. I don't think that'll cause problems because we have 2 to spare. It means that the compressors will each one can't process 6 different resource types, or 12 different resource types is what will happen in the end. But eventually, now that this is getting stuffed, extra lead gets sent into here, and yeah, I don't think it'll cause actual problems. It just makes the setup a bit less clean. But that's not a huge deal, right? To finalize things here, I'm just going to put a void upgrade in each of these so that they void excess, and then yeah, I'll put it in the empty ones too. And then I'll put some storage upgrades in the ones that I expect to fill up rather soon. Like, do I really need more than 64 stacks of crushed black quartz? Probably not, but storage upgrades are cheap. Can we use emeralds? Yeah, we can use emeralds. That's a lot of emeralds. I set up the trading system to get emeralds. I haven't sold these things a single time. Whoopsies. The second final step is to put the upgrades in all of these. So right now I've upgraded just this one. Actually I've been choosing not to do the compression step here to save on, right? Because that's like an extra step that the material stonework factory has to do. But it seems like with all the upgrades in, my item conduit is slower than the thing can work. So we should probably have the material stonework factory do the crafting step. That results in greater throughput. Or I could put upgrades in my item conduits, but those upgrades are kind of expensive. I think what they're called like extract speeds. Yeah, I think like 7 iron now is not a big deal, but this electrical steel is still iron, coal, and silicon. So it just takes time to make. But anyways, the reason I haven't made them all yet is because I'm actually out of sugarcane, or out of paper, and they take like 7 paper each. So I planted a bit of a sugarcane farm here, but it takes sugarcane time to grow. So why don't we wrap up today at this point? The sugarcane will grow, no doubt, between episodes, and then we can put the upgrades in all of these. And our automated resource production will be more or less done. There's still, the step of actually turning ores into ingots. But again, for now, let's test this out. Let's take 8 stacks of ores. And for now, I think I'm content just doing this. I probably should move this a little further out. But go. Yeah, I can't quite... Well, I guess I didn't get them all in one go because they weren't connected. But It's still quite good. Quite good. And very fast. Alright, so yeah, I'm content with that rate of ore processing for now. Eventually we'll automate it because we'll need like hundreds of thousands for singularities, but that's so far off, I'm not even dreaming about it. Alright, well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care, bye-bye.